Yo, yo, yo. What up, Facebook? What up, YouTube? What's going on, guys? Okay, guys, I wanted to just hop on here real quick, and I want to talk to you today about the power of intention. The power of intention. Okay, so who do we got joining us today? Okay, let's see who we got. If you guys could just maybe chime in, let me know where you're tuning in from on today's broadcast. I want to be able to showcase you right now on the comments. So if you can let me know where you're tuning in from, that would be fantastic. Who do we got? Okay, we got Chrissy. Welcome. Yo, Chrissy, what's up? Okay, we've got a Facebook user says, I love this topic. Awesome. We have Fred. How are you? Great to see you on the training today. That was great. We've got Peter Lowen back in the saddle. Morning, Darren from Australia. Good to see you here. Okay, who do we have? We have Lehigh Acres, Florida. Awesome. Welcome. Fred from Austria. Awesome. Chrissy from Minnesota. Beautiful. And we've got Sharon from South Dakota. Okay, we got more people piling on here, but I want to get right to the topic. The power of intention. Okay, the power of intention. Guys, what I want to share with you on today's broadcast is a lot of people don't understand how critically important that it is to set an intention. Okay, now what happens when you set an intention is you actually have a compression destination point like this. Okay, it's mandatory if you ever want to start getting results in your business. Okay, results in your business. Now, truth be known, guys, okay, and I'm just throwing this out there. You can do an analysis of your own business, but in the event that you do not have an intention, you're dealing with what's called an open-ended loop. Okay, so you've got like a horseshoe. Okay, it's like a horseshoe like this, and you have to have a compression point if you're going to break inertia. Okay, it's critical. So there's a couple things. Number one, whatever your intention is, it has to be completely believable to your subconscious mind. Okay, it's very, very important. So in other words, let's say that you work full-time, okay, full-time at your job, and you make $5,000 a month, okay? But you set your intention for your very first month in business, and you say, my intention is I'm going to make $100,000 this month, okay? This is what's going to happen with your subconscious mind. Yeah, right. Okay, because you've got data, okay, in your subconscious mind for working full-time over here and making 5,000, and you have no experience over here, and you say your intention is to make 100 grand. Now, in the event that your subconscious mind does not believe that it's possible, then guess what happens in your business? Nothing happens. Okay. So you will literally be spinning your reels the entire month, and nothing will happen because your subconscious mind did not even believe that it was possible. So you got a problem. You're dealing with this. Okay. Now, when I first got started, I realized that I needed to start creating data, something that I had reference to. And then over a period of time, I collected enough data that I could start to do this with my income. So when I first got started, I set an intention that for 3 days in a row, boom, 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 that I was going to make $50, 50. Okay. And my subconscious mind went, oh, I could do that, right? And then I moved it up to 100, and I went 100, 200, 200, 3, 4, 5, until I got all the way up to 1,000. And then I moved it up to 2, 3, 4, until I got it up to 10,000. Okay, now keep in mind, when I set my first intention at 50, 50, 50, maybe that month I made my first $1,000. Okay. But it was believable. You see the difference? So very, very important that whatever your intention is, it has to be believable to your subconscious mind. If it's not, you're going to be doing a lot of this in your business. Okay. A lot of spinning your wheels. Now, if you trust this process, if you trust the process and you hear what I'm saying on today's broadcast, typically what happens is that the universe will basically give you data to support whatever message that the people need. Okay. So prior to me coming on and doing this Facebook Live, and I just got off a training with some of the people that are in Millionaire Mentoring where I was talking about the power of intention. Okay. So I went to this little corner store around the house from my place, and they put in one of those large bins, right, where there's the crane, and you put in $1 and then you can move the crane like this. You got this little joystick, right? And then you hit the button and then down goes the crane, and then it goes like this, and you try to pull stuff out of the machine. Okay. Now, I have basically right now, currently, I've got 7 great nieces and nephews, 7. Okay. And there's 2 more on the way right now, bringing it up to 9. Okay. And this machine is filled with all these little cool little stuffed animals and some really neat stuff. Okay. Especially if you're, 2 years old or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or even 7 years old. Okay. Really, really cool stuff in this machine. Now, most people, when they go to a machine like that, what they do in their mind is they say, oh, these things never work. Like, you can never win on these things. Like, there's not enough, clenching power to the crane. So it's going to go, it's going to go, and there's nothing there. Okay. But I set an intention that I was going to basically leave with an entire garbage bag filled with these little stuffed animals. Okay. So that was my intention prior to me even putting money into the machine. Okay. So my intention, I already visualized my great nieces and nephews getting these little stuffed animals prior to starting. Okay. This is the importance of the power of intention. Okay. Now, what I'm about to show you guys may shock you right now. What I'm about to show you right now may shock you, because the universe will provide whatever data that you need to deliver your message to the people. Okay. This may shock you guys. Okay. So what do we have? We have stuffy animal number 1, which is a pig or something. Okay. We have a cool CSI Las Vegas hat. Okay. We have a Incredibles little character. Okay. These things are probably about $30 in a store. Okay. We have a little bear, right? We have a little beaver, right? We have a penguin. Okay. Now, keep in mind, this is one trip to this thing, and we've got a little rat. What is that? A frog. We have another type of a frog. We have a tiny little bear. We have I don't know what this is. This should be like a leopard or something. A leopard. Right? Cute little stuffy. Okay. We have I don't know if this is a llama or something like that, but these things are, if you go to a store and buy one of these things, guys, this thing might cost $20. Okay. Okay. We have another little frog. Okay. We have a monkey. Okay. We have what's this? A little fox, a little gray fox. We have a little ring, a little kid's ring. Okay, little ring. Okay. And this one actually, it looked like in the machine, like it was not even an impossibility to get, because it's a flat, it's something that's this, like it's flat like this. Okay. But what happened was that somehow when the claw clenched, this little part of the end of the frame, which is a little bit damaged on, you see that? It actually hooked on like this to the hair, and both of them came out and then dropped. Okay, now this one, guys, is actually a collector autographed hockey player card. Okay, and you can see right on it, it says that it has a value of $100. You see that? $100. It says right on it, $100. Okay. Now, that's called the power of intention. The power of intention. Okay. Now, in the event, okay, so there's $100. Okay, and let's just say that each one of these is like $20. Okay, so we got 20, right? 40, 60, 80, another 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200, 220, 240. This hat, probably, I'm going to guess it, even say 20 to 25 bucks, right? This thing here is probably worth a good 30. Okay. That was one trip with power of intention. Okay. Now, when I tell you that the universe will provide to give you the data that you need to deliver a specific message, if you trust this process, that's what happened. So in other words, I didn't, know that today I was going to be talking about the power of intention until I got the data. So the universe was obviously saying to me, Darren, you need to be talking about the power of intention today, and we're going to give you the data that you need. So I set the intention that I was going to leave that location with an entire garbage bag filled with these stuffed animals for my great nieces and nephews. Okay. So at the end of the day, it's probably like well over $300 in retail worth of these stuffed animals. But if that's not enough data to prove to you that what I'm telling you is true, then there's a high probability that these concepts you would never even believe anyway. Okay. But the universe provided me with enough data to show you in real time. This just happened prior to me coming on this live to talk to you about why it is critical to have an intention in your business, and for the intention to be believable to your subconscious mind. In the event that you set an intention and it's like this, you're going to spin your wheels, guys, in your business. Okay. So don't set yourself up for failure when you're over here making $5,000 a month, working full time in your business. And then you say, I'm going to make $100,000 this month. It's not believable. Okay. It's not believable. So don't set yourself up for a big failure, because you're going to end up being let down at the end because you set something that was so far out there. Okay. So at $5,000 a month, that's $60,000 a year. So now you set your first intention that you want to make $100,000, which is a year and a half or a year and 3/4 of working full time, but on a part-time basis, you want to be able to make $100,000 coming out of the gate. Can you see? It's like this. Okay. You won't be able to make it. Okay. So let's see who we got tuning in here. We had a whole ton of people just piled on big time. Okay, so we've got Sharon. Yeah, we saw Sharon. Welcome. We've got Marcelo. How are you? Great to see you here. Hey, Darren says Facebook user. Hey, Darren says Marcelo. How are you? Okay, we've got Chris. Welcome to the broadcast. We've got Marta. how are you today? We've got Angeline live from New York. What's going on, girl? We've got Jonathan, definitely vibe with this. I wasted too much time not setting intentions. Hello, Darren, live from, I think that's New Jersey. Okay. A little shout out to one of the people here. Yes, that happens often. David, how are you? Chrissy says, yes, that makes sense. Amanda, how are you? Great to see you here today on today's broadcast. Melody, welcome. Adolfo, how are you? Thanks a lot for tuning in today. Jonathan, this is great stuff. You're completely right. I'm glad that you get that. Marie, I needed this video tonight. Thank you. Awesome. Glad you showed up. Angeline says, makes perfect sense. Stephen, hello. Welcome back. Great to see you here. Sharon says, funny. I mean, if you had seen the look on the guy's face at the counter, because there was so many things. It took up the entire counter, and I actually had to buy a thing of green garbage bags so I could put all the stuffed animals into the green garbage bag, which was my intention before I put the money into the machine. Okay. Now, to get all those stuffed animals, right, I spent $40 and I came home with probably $350 worth of stuff. Okay. Now, keep in mind, when you've got, birthday, and then a month later, there's 2 birthdays, and then 2 months later, there's birthday, right? Or Christmas comes up, and I'm out buying stuff for 7 little nieces and nephews that are great nieces and nephews that are like under the age of like 7 years old. Okay. And now I got a whole, inventory now, right? That I can just throw into my spare bedroom, and I got presents for everybody. Okay. Now, what would have happened, guys? I want you to really think about what I'm going to say to you on this thing right now. What would have happened in the event that I went to the machine and I went like, oh, you can never win on these things. The claw doesn't work. You just lose your money. Okay. Then there's a high probability that I would have put in the money and come home with nothing. Okay. But the universe will provide for you to give you the data that you need in order to deliver a specific message. Okay. Now, I want to tell you a specific story that has to do with, a 30-day, it actually took me about 40 days to do this. So I was working with one particular company, and they had a monthly membership that was $154.95 that gave you all these cool discounts and all different stuff. Okay. Discount travel and discounts at all these different Subway and blah, blah, blah. And I set my intention that I wanted to be able to make a $10,000 monthly residual income from this thing that I was marketing. Okay. And I wanted to be able to do it in like a 30-day period of time. Okay. That was the intention that I set out. Okay. So now keep in mind, if you set your intention and then just sit there and twiddle your thumbs like this, nothing's going to happen. You have to set the intention and then move into massive action. Okay. So I typically, if I'm launching anything, I typically am going to reach out and connect. And I'm not talking about pitching. There's a big difference. I'm talking about connecting just with a minimum of 25 people in any given day, just to find out what's going on in their life and reach out, touch base, say quick hello. And, I'm not trying to convince them on anything. I'm not even talking about business. I'm just, connecting with people. Okay. So now, once I got to 25, I upped it up to 40. So, obviously I was working, okay, which a lot of people pretend. They start a business and they're not actually even working their business. They want money to start raining from the sky. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Welcome to the real world, okay? So here's what happened. During the first week of massive action, okay, I only got 1 sale my first week, okay? Now, a lot of people they would look at the number and they would go like, oh, it doesn't work. Okay. Just like the claw. Okay. Exactly the same thing. So they would give up. They would think, oh my God, I worked all that time. I sacrificed all the family time and everything else and only made like $120. I'm quitting. Okay. The second week, I did the exact same thing. And at the end of the week, I'd only made another one sale, $120. Okay. Now, here's what people don't get once you have the intention and once you're moving forward with compression like this. Okay. So and when I did that, it kind of reminded me of the Flash when he right moves his hand real fast and he goes right through things. So now what happens is all that energy that built up came over into the third week. Okay. Now by the third week, I made like around 9 something. So it was close to 1,000. And then the next week it jumped to 1,500. Now keep in mind, these are by the week. So it went like 120, 970, 14 something. And then it jumped to about 2,700. And then it jumped up from there to 4,300. Now, over the course of about 40 days, it generated over $12,000 in residual income. Okay. Now, I want to put a couple things out to you on this broadcast. Number one, if I did not set an intention, would I have got to $12,000 a month in residual income? I don't believe I would have, because I got an open-ended loop and there's no compression like this. Okay. Now, what would have happened if I looked at my data from the first week and said, oh, this doesn't work? I'd already been hooped, because I only made one sale in the first 7 days, but it's the compression of all this action. And the first 2 weeks went over to the third week, and then the first 3 weeks went over to the fourth week, and the first 4 weeks went over to the fifth week. And it's like a snowball until it goes bam. Okay. It typically takes 21 days for you to break inertia in any type of, networking business, affiliate marketing, any time that you're building out a team to get the energy to go, right, to go into a viral explosion. Okay. Now, where do people run into the problem? I'll tell you why. They hide behind their computers. They don't actually move into massive action in their business. They have no intention. They're dealing with an open-ended loop, and then they give up too soon. They give up way too soon. They don't understand that it's building up of the energy. So if you're not keeping track of your data, right, you got a major problem on your hands, huge problem. Okay. So I kept track of all the data. Now, when I tell you that the universe will provide the data that you need in order to get a point across, if I actually showed you the chart of week number 1, minuscule, week number 2, minuscule, week number 3, right? And then it went like this. And I ended up in that particular company. I think I built my residual income in that company up to maybe just under 20,000 a month. And, this is one of the reasons, and this is another story I want to tell you about this particular situation, onto why I typically don't brand a company. Okay. You see a lot of people when they get into our industry and they got logos all over their product, logo of their company that they're marketing, and the company's in their copy, and they're doing watch parties and all this stuff about their company. Okay. So imagine what it would be like for you in the event that you had your residual, you did all the work and you had your residual income up to $20,000 a month. And then one day you wake up and it's a bright sunshiny day and you're excited because you got $20,000 a month coming in monthly residual income. And I get a call, right? And I recognized it was coming from New York, and I knew it was one of the people from corporate, right? Because I was the top income earner of the company at that time. So my phone rings and I go, oh, wow, cool. It's corporate, right? And it was basically the vice president of the company. And he says, Darren, are you sitting down? And all of a sudden my stomach kind of went like all squirrely, right? And I said, yeah, what's going on? I knew it was something serious. Okay. He says, I got some really, really bad news for you. And I said, what happened? And he said, Larry Marcus, who was the owner of the company, and he basically was the company. Like, he was the vision of the company. He did the broadcasts of the company. He was a master at training. He was a master, okay? Multiple seven-figure income earner, and he had mastered this industry, and he was very good at teaching and training. He's one of the best mentors I ever had, okay? He said Larry had a stroke, and he's in critical condition right now in the hospital, okay? Now, keep in mind that the guy who's the guy, right, in the event that you remove him from the company, guess what happens? Okay. Now, we're basically kind of on the edge of our seat for about maybe 2 weeks to find out what's going on. Was Larry going to be okay? During that time, he had multiple strokes, okay, from the time he was admitted to the hospital until later. He had about 5 strokes, okay, until it got to the point where his brain function, the stroke affected his brain, which in turn affected all of his organs, and his organs just completely shut down, and he died, okay? Now, my question to you is this. In the event that I had completely wrapped and branded around that company, okay, I would have been directly link branded. Okay, I call it link branding. So in other words, if you do this and you are one of the people that don't understand our industry and you don't realize it's actually a personal development leadership business model and you are the product, then what happens is that when you're reaching out to people just to connect with people, it's like, oh, here comes the Melaleuca guy. Oh, here comes Amway. Oh, here comes Prepaid Legal, right? So you're link branded. You're link branded. So every time somebody comes to your content, they go, oh yeah, they're with Melaleuca. Oh yeah, they're with Prepaid Legal. Oh, they're with such and such company. So what ends up happening is that if something like that happens to you and you are link branded, you are hooped. Okay, I'm talking hooped. Okay, because all the money that you've invested into your brand goes up in smoke. So all the ads that you've run, all the SEO stuff that you've done, everything that you have done, you are directly linked to their brand. And if anything happens to their brand, you got a problemo. Okay, now, in the event that you do what we do, which is what we teach, where you are the brand, then all of a sudden now within literally 24 to 48 hours, you just blast out another email and boom, you're into cash flow again on whatever it is that you choose to do. Okay. So don't make the mistake that a lot of people make to link brand. Okay. Because I'm telling you, to be at a $20,000 monthly residual income, and then literally like a flash of light, bam, your income is up in smoke, okay? Up in smoke. So make sure that you don't fall for that. Now keep in mind, the companies want you to link brand. They want you to link brand, okay? Because all that does is build up their free advertising for them. But does it benefit you? No, it's a major, major liability for you, major liability. So don't get suckered into that path. Okay, let me see who we got. A whole bunch of people that just piled on here. Let's see what we got. Okay, so Mosen, welcome. How are you, sir? Chrissy says, also cool. You must have seen the stuffies. Where's the Mercedes? It's in the driveway. Dang, you cleaned house. I really did. Chris says, the tiger. This is so cool, says Angeline. Ha, ha, ha. The cheetah. Yes. It was a great call this morning. Thanks, Darren. Thanks a lot for showing up, Nicola. You know, guys, I'm going to tell you something about success. 80% of success is just showing up. Just showing up. That's 80%. Okay. Because there's a different vibration that goes on a live broadcast than does on a replay. Okay. Keep that in mind when it comes to millionaire mentoring. It's completely, totally different when you're live on a portal versus watching a replay after the fact. Okay, that is so freaking awesome. It really was. And right about now, the security team is feverishly reviewing the security tapes. It's actually quite funny, guys. I mean, if you'd seen the look on the store guy's face when I had a big mound like this of stuffed animals and I was buying garbage bags to take home from one time of sitting by the machine, it was priceless. If I had to have that on video was like next level. Okay. Oh my, you're amazing. I appreciate that. I want you to go for the Xbox. Well, you know, it's all about strategy, right? Like you've got to visualize the stuff coming out, and then you've got to go know what part of the machine to go to so that you can pull the things out that are ready to be pulled out, right? But you know, to sit down for one sitting and walk out with like over $300 worth of stuffed toys, and this thing was the biggest you know, value. This thing's $100, right? You can see it right on there. It says $100, right? So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I was pretty excited about that. Okay, Angeline says, I want the frog. Oh yeah, easily $30 for some of those stuffed animals. Easily, like this one here, guys. This is easy a $30 for this, right? And what's really interesting about this is the claw actually hooked into this right there, okay, into this, and it pulled it out like that, right? So this was actually the one that I like really wanted, because this is a well-known brand with the Incredibles 2, and you know, the kids are just going to love this stuff, right? I mean, they love stuff, little stuffies, right? So I'm pretty happy about it. Okay, so cool, you rock. I appreciate that. The universe will provide, right? The universe will provide you the data to get your message. And you know, if I had gone there and I pulled out 2 little stuffed animals, would this message have had the same type of impact today? Okay, so watch the replay if you just tuned on here, because I showed all of the stuffed animals that came from one session in this particular claw machine. Okay, and it'll blow you away when you actually see how many there are. Okay, who do we got here? Let me just see. We just lost my spot here. Okay, just hold on a sec. Hold on. Okay, where do we go? Where do we go? There's a brrr, all of them came in there. Just hold on a sec. I'm trying to find out where we left off. Where did we go? Okay, I want you to go for the Xbox. Okay, here we go. Great Monday, brother. Coming to you from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Welcome, Ron. Great to see you. Darren's Toy Store. Pretty much. I have a whole spare bedroom filled with these toys now. Oh, that's so nice. Stuffed animals run about $30 or more. That's powerful stuff, Darren. The universe is willing to play with you if you're willing to listen. You are correct. Chris says, I believe it. OMG, that is more than enough data. Believe. I believe it. We do little quantum jump. Absolutely. Hey, Blake, what's happening, brother? Hope you're making out well with your listing there. I know that you had just listed your property there, so hopefully that's working out for you. Todd, how are you, sir? Howdy, howdy. Tom Selly is in the house. What's up? What's up? What's up, superhero dude? Good to see you, pal. Everything is good, says Angeline. Hello, Darren from Australia. Welcome, Aaron. Gary, live from the UK. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Another shout out to the person. I bet I've never seen anyone take that many stuffed animals out of a machine. Those claws are hard to grasp something and take it out. You are correct. You are correct with that. Okay. But I believed my intention before even putting money in the machine. My intention was that I was leaving with a garbage bag filled with stuffed animals. Okay, now this one here was a fluke. This actually, this rough part grabbed on one of the hairs, right? On this stuffed animal here, where you can see it's got these long hairs, right? And it grabbed one, it hooked on to it, like kind of like this. And they both pulled out at the same time and dropped, right? Now, this one I really wanted, actually, the CSI Las Vegas cap, right? But the rest of the stuff was all for the kids. Okay. Jonathan says you are awesome. I appreciate that, brother. Chris says you're not going to win. Well, I won pretty big today, let me tell you. I've never seen anyone to, okay, that one we already saw. Hey, Dan, how are you, sir? Great chatting yesterday. What's the difference between an intention, okay, an intention and determination? Okay, that's a great question. Okay, an intention is a specific set destiny. Okay, determination is action. An intention is basically a goal with emotion attached to it. Okay, so an intention already is movement in forward progression. Okay, determination is just action. You can be real determined and be sitting over here spinning your wheels. Oh, I'm determined. Oh, I'm determined. Right, and you end up with nothing except burnout. Okay, so an intention is a specific destination point, but it's different than a goal. An intention, it already has movement behind it. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. It's like a compound effect. Yes, it is. You're so right about setting the intention. A clear intention gets heaven's attention. You're right. Hi, Les in. Okay, Les is in the house. Awesome. Okay, aloha, Jonathan. How are you? Looks like you got a pretty good tan going on there, my friend. Good job. Hey, Pierre. How are you, sir? So important to brand you and not the company. You are right. Darren just got on. Welcome, Samuel. Thanks a lot for showing up for the training there. Cliff says, great advice. I think that's Cliff. Okay, who else we got here? Okay, here we go. We've got 80% of success is showing up. You're correct. I bet. Good for you. That's totally awesome. Thank you, Sharon. Australia, Andrew, standing ovation. Light bulb went on for you either today or yesterday. That's awesome. I saw your post. That's great. I actually just got done watching you in video 11 years ago. I swear the consistency is amazing. Thank you, Melody. I appreciate that. It's really all about, finding your niche. Okay. And for me, guys, just so you know, what fascinated me was the whole concept of quantum physics. Okay. That's like in my DNA of my body, literally, and helping people to understand what the wave particle theory is and what the law of attraction is and what's the equation for manifestation. How do you make it work? Okay, how do you make the law of attraction work for you so that you can have stuff like this happen? Now, that particular situation is just stuffed animals, okay? But you can do the exact same thing with new team members. You can do the exact same thing with the size of your team growing in exponential duplication. You can do the same thing with setting an intention for a specific income amount, whether it's $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. I've done things where I've publicly told people, like in a group of, say 30 people. And I've said, okay, I'm going to set an intention and I'm going to manifest $100,000 in a 30-day period of time with no paid ads, just from doing everything that I teach about that manifestation, how it works. And they watch it happen right in front. They watch the evolution of how it all comes together, right? But if you don't have an intention, right, and you don't believe it, or if you do have an intention, you don't believe it, you got a problem. Okay. Now, in the event that you don't trust the process, then you'll never know what I'm talking about breaking inertia, because the first part of the action steps is going to be a lot of work, but not a lot of stuff shows up. And then all of a sudden, bam, and then it goes into, this explosive duplication. Okay. But if you don't believe it, you got a problem right out of the gate. Okay. Okay. So let's hold on a sec here. Just got on. Okay. Now on to the casino. Okay. We already talked about that one. That's powerful stuff, Darren. The universe is willing to play. Yeah, we already saw that. Yeah, that's true right there. Okay. Okay. How does intention relate to mindset and vibration? Okay. The mindset of it is going to be about 95% of your business, number one, okay? Vibrational frequency has to do with the success frequency, okay? So the vibration inside your body is different than forward intention with a destination attached, okay? So mindset is whether or not you believe you can actually do it, number one. Vibrational resonance is what the feeling is in the physiology of your body. This is your compass, okay? And the intention is the forward action to a specific destination, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. That's reality transurfing. It really is. That would have been an awesome YouTube with the stuffed animals. The looks of the others' faces would have been priceless. Well, if they had hidden cameras in there, I would have been able to, maybe get it. But I would have loved to have seen that. It was just priceless, let me tell you. Thank you for these explanations. You're very much welcome. The world is a better place because Darren Little is in it. I appreciate that, Ron Mayberry. Darren teaches the truth behind what life is and who you are. His help has been immeasurable to me. Phenomenal mentor. I love having you in my life, man. Appreciate that, Samuel. And, guys, here's a great example. Example here with Samuel. Samuel was working at the bread factory. He was making minimum wage. But he had a dream that he was so emotionally connected to his dream. The only way that he knew at that time to go raise money was to work overtime and to work weekends. So he started taking on extra shifts. He raised the money to be able to get into Millionaire Mentoring, and he was coachable. So he said, Darren, what do I do? I said, the first part of your first, 4 or 5 days, I don't want you to do anything except bury yourself into 3 videos and watch them over and over and over and over and over and over and over, which he did. And I said, take notes, which he did, okay? On his 5th day, he made over $1,000. And then pretty much consistently every day after that, he made 1,000 or 2,000. And after he was just over 3 weeks in, he had already made $23,000 US, okay, in profit. And then typically what comes after that, now obviously keep in mind, he's in mentorship, so we've talked a lot of this through, but typically what happens is if you make in basically less than three weeks of work, if you make in less than 3 weeks of work, what you normally make in a whole year, guess what happens? The air conditioner kicks on because now your subconscious mind is going like, holy cow, I already worked a whole year in 3 weeks. I'm good. Okay. So guess what typically happens after that? Now you got to battle the ego. Okay. Which is what he went through. And then he had to go through a whole nother lesson about, remaining humble and being a humble servant leader and not trying to reinvent the wheel. So even with all that success coming out of the gate, right? Instead of just keep on going with what he learned, he tried to go figure out something else. I'm going to come up with a new strategy. Okay. And then what ends up happening to the income? It starts to go flat. And then you got to become coachable again. Okay. I'm going to get back in. I'm going to do exactly what then the income starts going up. So what you got to realize in this whole evolution is this is why, truthfully, why Millionaire Mentoring is so critical, because it course corrects you. So if you're drifting off course, you course correct, and then you keep on going, and you've got somebody that you can ping pong with. Like some people say to me, I go, well, who's your millionaire mentor? And they go, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is my millionaire mentor. Oh, you got Tony Robbins on speed dial. You can pick up the phone right now and call Tony Robbins. He's not your mentor then. Okay. So YouTube videos is not mentorship, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. There's a big difference on what mentor is. If you can't talk to the person that you're saying is your mentor, they're not your mentor. Okay. So keep that in mind. I definitely believe it. I just have to get the technical stuff down. Darius, that is actually not true. Okay. I have the tech skills of a 2-year-old, literally a 2-year-old kid. I just outsource that. So it's nothing to do with whether or not you can. I still type like this with 2 fingers as a chicken pecker typer. Okay. And just from my Facebook wall, I've generated over $1.6 million. So it has nothing to do with your belief is that you need to get the technical stuff. You don't. Okay. I'll tell you what the real thing that you've got to get good with is people. Okay. And that doesn't require any tech skills at all. It does require knowledge. It does require understanding different personality types. It does you've got to learn some skills, but they're not technical skills. They're people skills. Okay. Big difference. Yo, I'll watch the replay. Awesome. Sam is amazing. We had a conversation today. So helpful and very knowledgeable. Sam provides phenomenal value. He's always providing value back to the rest of the people, right? And this is where some people go wrong. They have a breakthrough, but they don't realize there's phase 2 to step into leadership, to be a humble servant leader and provide value back to the core, right? So they get their breakthrough and then they just disappear and they're in la la land after that. Right? They don't move into the second phase, which is to be a humble servant leader and give unconditionally back to the core. Okay. And my millionaire mentors drilled it into me, guys. Like, I'm over 30 years now in the industry, and my millionaire mentors, I still tell the stories about my millionaire mentors to this day. You can scroll my wall and see stuff that, my first millionaire mentor said to me. And there's still stuff from the very first mentors that I've ever had. I really love the push you give us when you said, do you love suffering? I woke up and things have changed already. The buildup is intense. Standing ovation, Melody. Way to go. Way to go. Samuel's amazing. We had a great conversation last night. That's phenomenal. Really awesome that you gave us the mentor call that you did today. And I have 2 calls I did today with people coming up with the money to join. 2 more calls scheduled for tomorrow. Your way works for me. My way makes me go backwards. So I'm just sticking to being coachable and doing what my millionaire mentor tells me to do. Great job, Samuel. Super proud of you, bro. Super proud of you. I agree with you, Darren. I'm very grateful. We talked on Saturday. Guys, here's the interesting thing. Like, this here coming from the people should confirm to you of what I'm saying about mentorship, right? It's interactive. You've got to be the leader that helps to course correct the people. But if you don't even know what to do yourself, you got a problemo. Okay. And this is why mentorship is so important, especially if you're not making a full-time income in our industry. There's a high probability you do not have a millionaire mentor. Just look at the data. The data doesn't lie, guys. The data does not lie, okay? And a lot of people, what they do is they try to fake it. So they put on this big persona like, oh, so how's your business going? It's going great. I'm telling you, I'm so fired up. Really? Well, when was the last time you recruited a rep? When was the last time you rank advanced? Have you sold any of your products, and how big is your team? Okay. And there's a high probability that once you break it all down and they surrender their ego, they'll go, well, actually, I got products they're storing up in my spare bedroom, and I can't recruit myself out of a wet paper bag. Okay. That's the real truth. But people give you this big whole hoopla persona, and they lie. They lie about their business, and they tell you it's going phenomenal. Broke? You mean the brokenness is phenomenal? Not making any money is phenomenal? I don't think so. It's all an illusion, right? 97% of the entire industry fails. There's only 0.1% that make more than $400 a month. Okay, so who's telling the truth? Who's telling the truth about their business? There's a lot of BS and hype, and it's ridiculous. Okay, be truthful about your business. Don't lie to people. And if you're struggling, get some help. Don't have your ego so big that you won't even admit that you got a problem. Okay, because you're the only person that's suffering at the end of the day is yourself. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay. I started really listening after the video did about following the content strategy. I'm following the content strategy now and talking to a lot more people. Add a girl, or I thought that was somebody else. Way to go, Mike. Good job. Way to go. Way to go. Okay, guys. So listen, what I'm going to put out to you here at the wrap up of this is that if you are in the home-based business industry right now, or affiliate marketing, anything that's a team building model, or you just are one direct sale, a direct sales model where you make a sale and you make a commission, make a sale, make a commission. Okay. There's certain strategies that you can implement where you don't have to go out and be buying massive amounts of traffic in order to get to the big money. Okay. So when Samuel rolled his business out and made 23 grand his first month, there was no money that he spent in paid ads. It was learning about value. It was learning about branding, learning about content, how to become the attractor factor. But you can have I could give you 20,000 leads, but if you don't know what to actually do with the leads, you're still going to spin your wheels. Okay. So if you don't know what to do with the leads and you go start and spending money on traffic and then leads show up and you don't even know what to do to close those people, you're wasting away your money. And you're going to end up with maxed out credit cards and all your savings accounts gone because you weren't properly mentored on the front end before you started into the industry. People do it backwards. Okay. So in the event that you really want to start cranking it and you want to learn the 7-figure formula, how do these people have these success stories? I'll tell you how they do. They piggyback off what we do. They're learning the 7-figure formula of what we personally implement. So we hand that over to them, and then we make sure that they're on course and course correct them if we see them going off course. So right now, I'm working with a brand new group of people, okay, where I take you under my wing, I share my screen, I explain the psychology around exactly what you have to do. What are the exact income producing activities that you need to do so that you can get to 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month, and most people start on a part-time basis, part-time. Okay. So they might work 1 or 2 hours in a night, and then maybe they spend more time on the weekends for their business, but it only takes between 30 and 90 days. Okay. We got tons of data on this, 30 to 90 days to be able to have enough income and a cushion where you can walk away from your job and become a full-time entrepreneur. Okay. Now here's the challenge. There's one caveat. Are you prepared to surrender your pride, surrender your ego, and just be coachable, guys? People go through 2 phases of this. So just to get a mentor, they've got to surrender their pride and their ego. Step 1. Just even admit you got a problem. We battle the human condition, and the human condition will not allow us to go get help. Oh no, I got it. I'll figure this out. Okay. So that's phase 1, surrender the pride and the ego. Okay. When you get in, you have to do a second surrender of your pride and your ego to just be coachable and follow what we tell you to do. And if you do, this is what happens. There's no guesswork here, guys. That's why the income stories go so fast. The best story that we had from one student in his first month was 45 grand. That's the best one we've ever had. Okay. But there's tons of 5s and 8s and 10s and 13s and 18s coming out of the gate if you're coachable. Okay. So in the event that you got value from today's broadcast, that is like the little tiny tip of the iceberg of what we cover inside of Millionaire Mentoring. And once you fix this is where things change, guys, right? Because your net worth is never going to exceed your self-worth. This is why it's a personal development leadership business model. It's not a pitching and convincing business model. It's about people, leadership. And you got to know the difference in corporate America business model and a direct sales leadership personal development business model. And they're not even remotely the same. They're like this. And this is why the failure rate is so high in this industry. So in the event that if you want to see if you qualify to be in the next group where I take you under my wing, I share my screen, I show you exactly the psychology behind how this works, why it works, and the exact income producing activities that you need to do so that 30 to 90 days you can walk away and become a full-time entrepreneur. Reach out to me, send me a private message and say, Darren, I want in Millionaire Mentoring and I want to be in the next group. Every time I do this, guys, it's sold out. Okay. It's sold out. Okay. Every time I roll these things out, They're sold out. Okay. So in the event that you want to be in the next group, throw your hat over the wall, surrender your pride, admit that you have a problem. That's the only way that you can get help, is to admit that there's a problem there and we can course correct it. Okay. So hopefully you got some value from this. If you did, please throw me a comment down there below. If you tuned in live, throw in a hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, throw in a hashtag replay, but let me know what your takeaway was today, right? That's what this is about, guys, is providing value to the people. Be a humble servant leader. No matter how high up the rankings that you get and how many millions of dollars that you make, be a humble servant leader and be in this for the people, not to stroke your ego. Okay. It's all about the people. It's about the transformations and lifting people up and giving them wings. That's our industry. It's about personal development and transformation. And the journey is to the stage. That is when the money starts happening, when you are the person with the message. Guys, my name is Darren Little from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Hopefully you got some value. Throw me a comment down there below and let's go get it. Have a good one. All the best.